you had this breakup that was difficult, and then you reconnected a few months later after all of it. But what was going through your head, and how were you feeling about the show coming out? Because I always say that's like the third or second pressure cooker. The first one is the whole show experience. Then there's the anticipation of it coming out, and you have no idea what's in there, if you're in there, how much you're in there, how you're portrayed or anything. So what was that timeline for you? How did it make you feel?
I was actually relatively optimistic. I felt like I did the process the best that I could and was respectful and did things that I thought were the right way. And I felt I was in good graces, so to speak, to the people that were producing the content. So there was never an expectation that what happened was going to happen. So obviously I was blindsided by some of the short little snippets and what was shown and edited. Like random America comments are being played over as voiceovers, which it was kind of funny. Like some of the stuff is kind of funny, but like I had like
Doesn't mean it's
conversations with
not
the producer.
hurtful.
Yeah, yeah, it's easier to talk about it now than it was when it all came out. The America comment was said in like a producer interview, and that was played multiple times in voiceovers at like the most random and awkward spots. And like you're watching it, and I know what I said and did, so I had a different perception of what's being played than probably the public or people that are watching it. But even
Mhm.
like friends or people that I had relationships for years, you come like, did you really walk out on a girl? I'm like, no, I didn't walk on a girl, but it's really hard for a person to not internalize something that they saw with their own eyes. And
Yeah.
it's a little frightening, especially with AI moving forward, of what some of these people may be capable of in terms of manipulating people or showing people a particular life that maybe not be true. And certainly when it came out, I knew right away that I was probably in deep trouble. Uh, and obviously I was devastated. And at that point, you're just trying to survive because it's a very rare occurrence that you go from just being a normal person one day, the next day, it feels like you're one of the most hated people. And, I had social anxiety where I didn't feel comfortable going into public. But over the course of time, I feel like I fall back on a lot of the people in my life that support me. And I'm in a loving relationship with my girlfriend now, and she's there for me during it. And we actually, I think, grew together as a couple with some of this stuff, but it hasn't been easy on her either. Because she's watching her boyfriend on some dating show and also Googling articles, and people are calling me a serial killer or a villain and saying these ridiculous things. The majority of it's not true, which is even harder to take to
Um,
the person. Like if I said something and did something, I can, it's a little bit easier to stomach to like, yeah, well, I was just an idiot, said something dumb or
mhm.
whatever the case may be. But if you're being hated for something that you didn't actually do, that's a whole, different amount of things that you need to get over mentally to come back from.
Oh my God, dude. I don't even know what to say. Being hated for something you didn't do, but people think you did it. I got goosebumps, and I don't think these are in a good way. I think it's like the flight way, right? Like this is very uneasy to hear. And very
Well, it's not
simply
fun to,
put,
it's not
for
fun to talk about. It's part of
no,
the
I
reason why
know, I
why
know,
it
and
took so long. It just, I want to be able to deliver the message of my story and what I'm doing moving forward in the right way. And I don't think I was prepared mentally and emotionally to do it because I may have been more revengeful or emotional in my response. And one thing that I've learned as a career professional is you don't want to ever make decisions that are really impactful on your life when you're in an emotional state. You want to try to be as calculated as the process as best you can. That's what I did leaving the show and after. Like, I want to make sure when I have my turn to talk that I'm more believable in terms of telling the truth. Because if I would have said things right away, I think people would have not received it maybe as they differently as they do now. Now I know my microphone is a lot smaller than it could have been if I would have done the reunion or done some of those things, but it's very difficult to go back into an environment of people manipulated and told lies about you, and then you're going to also go back and help them, market the brand and make more money off of a lie. So I just always I tried to be the best I could, but you're making decisions and you just keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's the old adage of you want to respond, not react to something when you're in an emotional state. And I credit you deeply for doing that because it's not easy. And I know when I went through my stuff and I was getting misrepresented in the media, people were lying about me, people had all the wrong. The hardest thing for me was not to go back because I used to be very reactive and also an asshole. I can still be an asshole, but that doesn't go away. Very sarcastic. But I think your ability to sit it out when the spotlight was the biggest and to sort of organize your thoughts and your feelings and how you want to communicate and what you want to do out of all of this, and then hold it for the right moment is admirable and something that you should be proud of and other people should look up to as a goal for themselves, because your microphone, like you said, would have been bigger and you would have gotten so many more opportunities to tell your story, to be in the headlines, to grow your, let me tell you, nobody I've lost a ton of followers, which is fine. I don't really care, but nothing would gain me followers like people waiting for me to respond to something that was said about me. And I just never really did because it's not in my nature. But you could have grown your social media, you could have grown your reach, you could have grown your media presence by doing it in the right moment and getting wrapped up in all the drama. But now you're going to be able to tell your story and you're going to be able to tell how it impacted you and how it changed your course on the things that you care about. And that has longevity. Where people who are gossiping about a reality show in the middle of it airing, that has 15 minutes and isn't going to translate into anything other than you chasing more of that drama. And I've seen that personally happen with people from my season. I've seen that happen with people on other shows where they chase that drama and then their identity becomes that 15 minutes and they don't know what to do with it after. And so you're doing the right thing, in my perspective, to have longevity and really do the things that you want to do and have the impact that you want to make. So
It's such a unique experience to get a look behind the curtain of an environment that very few people in our society get to see beyond. And as it's going on and these things are happening, and what happened to me, I feel a weird connection to all these other people that have maybe been in a particular situation where they've been taken advantage by people that have significant amount of power over you. And I never would have thought that I would be in a position where I feel like I have to tell the truth, because if I don't tell the truth, more people might get hurt. And there's plenty of people that have been in that environment and that culture that have committed suicide or have had significant mental, health issues or drug addiction. And now my perspective is like, I think I have such a much better understanding of what those people went through and maybe why some of those things are happening.